as a lot of you know, Lisa Simeoni was fired from NPR. She was actually on two different programs. One was Soundprint, and on that, she was basically let go because she was part of Occupy DC. In fact, she was on a steering committee, God forbid, and she was also a spokesperson for the October 2011 protest activities, as NPR describes it. So she has been fired. Furthermore, she is also on an opera program called The World of Opera. Now, NPR also wanted to get rid of her from there, and in fact they have, but the local affiliate that actually produces that show has said that they will continue having her host, and they will begin to syndicate the program throughout the country. So that's actually good news, right? It's not good news in terms of NPR's reaction, but it's good news that the program will continue through the local affiliate, and I believe, of course, the local affiliate has made the right decision. And furthermore, there's new news as well. Michelle Norris is someone who, of course, hosted All Things Considered, and she was, of course, one of the co-hosts of that NPR program, and she will be temporarily stepping down. The reason is her husband is going to work for President Obama, and she thinks that she does not want that to be an issue in terms of her journalistic ethics, yada, 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 for All Things Considered. She will stay with NPR in a different role that has nothing to do with the campaign, and then she will come back to All Things Considered, hopefully at the end of the campaign. Now, all this is precipitated by NPR's ethics code, kind of. But I think it's precipitated by something else entirely. Now, the ethics code says that, you must not be involved in political activities that you cover as a reporter. Now, the thing is with Lisa Simeoni, she is not. She was affiliated with political activity, but it is not anything that she covers as a journalist at all. Soundprint was basically almost kind of a documentary type of show that had nothing to do with politics. And The World of Opera is about opera. So I don't see how it has anything to do with her role at NPR, that she was at Occupy DC or was on a steering committee there. I just don't see it. What I think is the real reason is what one of the local affiliates presidents said. It's Joe Hutchins, general manager of WBJC. He's Baltimore's classic music public radio station, and he is obviously the general manager there. He said, "I can understand NPR's reluctance to be associated with anything controversial, especially with these political ramifications, because they've been on the carpet now for quite a while for some other incidents." And the other incidents he's talking about is, for example, firing Juan Williams over his comments about Muslims, and of course, James O'Keefe's so-called sting operation against them, where they did absolutely nothing wrong, but nonetheless, conservatives yelled and screamed and said, "Oh, we might cut your funding." So what are they doing here? The reality is they're running for the hills. They're like, "Oh my God, I don't want to get criticized. Somebody was at Occupy DC. Oh shit, we're on a steering committee. What are they about? Opera? Who cares? Fire her. Get her out of the building. Documentaries that have nothing to do with politics. Who cares? Fire, fire, fire. Get rid of her," right? Because they're in a panic. Well, oh my God, what if conservatives criticize them again? Now, look, to give you a sense of it, look, first of all, I was against Juan Williams firing. Okay, so they did it, and and then they get called liberals for it, right? Whatever they're called for it, I don't think they should have done it. But at least he was commenting on politics in general, and he covers politics. Now, he was not biased in terms of having a different conflict of interest, but he said something that they thought was out of bounds, right? But I was against that as well. But in opera, I don't give a damn who you're affiliated with or what steering committee you're on. For all I care, Dick Cheney could run the World of Opera for NPR. It would be a curious choice, but I wouldn't say, "Oh, I can't believe Dick Cheney is running the World of Opera." He's obviously going to slant all of opera in favor of invading Iran. If anyone could do it, Cheney probably could, but I don't see the connection. It doesn't have to do with their ethics code. It has to do with the fact that they are panicking, and they got to make sure that they appease the right wing. Everybody gets it. Keep it real. That's exactly what's going on. And look, that threat is unfortunately more important than reality. So, for example, I know someone, and I can't tell you, it's an anonymous source. I want to protect their, that they told me this in confidence, right? Someone that was with an important liberal organization, and they were worried, and this happened a while back, a little over a year ago, and it's because it's related to NPR and the panic that sets in. They were worried that something that person wrote might get on Glenn Beck's program on Fox News. Now, at the time, Glenn Beck was going after that organization. Again, I want to have that source remain anonymous, so I'm not going to tell you which organization it is, right? But it was a large liberal organization. Glenn Beck had not talked on air about that person's blogs or writings or articles at all. But they were worried that he might find something on one of their employees. So they did a preemptive strike and fired that person. They asked him or her to leave. Do you see the panic that sets in? Do you see how they do Fox News' job for them? Fox News and the Republicans have them so worried, whether it's a liberal organization that's supposed to be representing progressive ideals, or it's NPR, which is supposed to just cover documentaries and operas and all the things that they're supposed to cover without any relationship to politics. They're in such an unbelievable frenzy. They're like, okay, fire, we got to fire everybody until Glenn Beck and Fox News and other people stop. That's terrible. You're doing exactly what they want you to do.